World history has often witnessed complicated and mysterious events with unknown causes, unsolved mysteries, and unexplained moments. Although many of these seem like conspiracies, some, albeit rarely, were real. People have lived through these for years, and some, so to speak, have witnessed them firsthand. In this video we will look at events that remain mysterious no matter how much they are researched. I don't know which event you would put at the top of the list, but the events I will talk about might not even be the tip of the iceberg. I'm Aaron. If you're ready, let's begin. It all started in the summer of 1976 when a woman named Mary Gillespie living in the small town of Circleville, Ohio, received an anonymous letter. When the woman opened the letter, she was met with strange, crudely scrawled handwriting. The letter stated that an unnamed person was observing her home and knew she had children. Furthermore, whoever wrote the letter knew information that others did not. Mary Gillespie GLP was rightly terrified and felt that someone was watching her, she reported this to her husband, who immediately jumped up angrily. He grabbed a gun, got into his car, and said he knew who the letter writer was and was going to kill them. Things are going quite mysteriously so far, aren't they? However, this mystery was just the beginning. As her husband was speeding in his car, he got into a terrible traffic accident and died. Years later, these anonymous letters continued to arrive. And it wasn't just Mary Gillespie. Dozens of people in Circleville received letters for nearly 20 years. The strange part was that the letters contained personal information about the individuals themselves, and people had no idea how a stranger could have learned this information. The mystery of these letters was never solved, and these letters made their mark on history as real-life events. On December 4, 1872, people sailing in the Atlantic Ocean a few hundred miles west of Portugal off the Azores stumbled upon a ship named the Mary Celeste. The Mary Celeste was built in Canada. Note, it was actually an American-built ship, though the video says Canadian, filled with valuable cargo, and was supposed to be heading to Europe at the time. It had left New York City about a month earlier, bound for Italy. Yes, everything seems normal up to this point. However, the creepy part was the complete lack of human activity inside the ship. The ship's stocks were full and the crew's supplies were equally full. This indicated that no one had starved to death. Additionally, all the crew's personal belongings were in place, but none of the crew who should have been working were there. It was even stranger that the ship was still seaworthy and floating beautifully. The lifeboats were missing. Note, one lifeboat was missing, but it was very strange that nothing else was missing and the ship hadn't been battered in a storm. Although it seems incredibly tragic, the ship and its crew were never found. In 1949, Russian geologist Vadim Kolpakov discovered an extremely large and strange crater in a rural area of southeastern Siberia. They didn't know how this rock formation had occurred. The crater was like a huge mound made of fragmented limestone blocks. In the center there was a cone with a ring-shaped stone. The height of the mound was as high as the outer walls of the crater. Yes, although it sounds a bit mysterious, no one knows how it was formed. This entire structure is estimated to be extremely large, with an internal volume of over 8 million cubic meters and weighing about 1 million tons. However, despite being so large and incredibly displaced relative to its surroundings, no one knows how it got there or where it came from. Of course, there are some noteworthy theories. The most likely theory is that it was a meteor that landed on Earth with a great spectacle. When the calendar showed 1945, 5 Avenger torpedo bombers flying for the U.S. Navy completely disappeared while on a mission just off the coast of Florida, and no word was heard from them. At one point during the flight, the lead navigator in the first plane became disoriented about the group's direction and lost their heading back to the mainland. Many theories have emerged on the subject. Some say the difficult conditions in the Bermuda Triangle caused these planes to disappear. Unfortunately, the planes were never seen again, and the 14 men serving on those 5 planes that day were lost forever. Of course, this is the most innocent part of the event. What made things worse was that the Martin PBM Mariner flying boat sent on a search and rescue mission to find the lost crew also disappeared with its 13 crew members. It is believed that it also vanished. On the night of November 22, 1987, people watching television in Chicago, Illinois witnessed a very interesting event. An unidentified person had hijacked the city's broadcast signal. While televisions were in the middle of a sports segment, a person wearing a Max Headroom Hydron mask and swaying erratically in front of a metal panel suddenly appeared on the screen. Along with the television hijacking, a loud buzzing sound was heard, and this lasted for 17 seconds. About 2 hours later, a second And much larger breach occurred. This happened during a broadcast of a Doctor Who episode. The channel had no engineers on duty at the time because they were only broadcasting pre-recorded programs. That's why this time the attack lasted for a total of more than 90 seconds. Although it may seem a bit absurd, those who saw these moments at that time witnessed a very mysterious event. A people called the Norse maintained an active colony in Greenland, which they discovered in the 10th century for 500 years. However, in the late 15th century this colony completely disappeared. All the people in the colony left, leaving behind many materials, as if nothing had happened. Now, more than 500 years after their complete disappearance, historians and archaeologists are at an impasse as to why this event occurred and what happened to the people who lived there. There are many theories as to why Greenland's lost colony was lost. Some believe that environmental changes made life difficult and forced people to flee. The strangest part of this whole mystery is this: the people abandoned the colony in a very orderly and measured way. No archaeological evidence shows any sign of an attack. As we approach the end of the video, I will tell you about one more very tragic event. In July 1518, it was reported that a woman in the city of Alsace, Strasbourg, began a dance. She couldn't stop. She went out into the streets and danced for days on end without stopping. Soon other people joined her dancing in the streets. The dancing situation turned into a very remarkable and very strange event of mass hysteria based on records documenting the situation. Historians today estimate that between 50 and 400 people participated in the dancing plague, and this lasted for weeks. There is a lot of confusion about why this plague occurred. The most common theory is that the population was poisoned, hallucinating declaring, partying, having fun, due to fungi in the rye they farmed and used as food. Some people even question whether there was a religious explanation for all this dancing. Historians have found documents claiming that hundreds of people died of exhaustion after weeks of endless dancing. However, the exact causes and reasons for the beginning of this plague will probably never be known. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. See you later.